Can't hear myself. That's weird. What's happening? Mm. Check, check. Let's see. Check, check, check. What's going on? Check, check. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Mm.
Hello, hello.
Okay, now
Oh.
I can't hear you. What is happening?
Got it. I got you.
All right, just let me figure this out, everyone. Everyone watching. Typical typical technical issues. Let's see here. I'm just gonna take out my headphones. Maybe that'll do something. Can you say something?
Testing.
there
Hello from
There
Australia.
There we go. What's up, man?
Hey.
How are
Shane.
you?
Hi, mate. Good to see you.
You too. Before I start,
I'm loving the sidekick.
Oh man, StreamYard is.
It's so great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm. It's a little like experiment to like get to interact with people and do that kind of thing. Yeah. Let me share this real quick and then we'll jump into it.
Yeah, I've got to share it on my page too. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
That'd be great.
But for everybody that is already watching, thank you for watching. This is like, I like to call it the pre-show. This isn't the official conversation. But this is if you are watching, please share the stream on Facebook. We want to get as many people tuning in as possible.
Yes, please.
There we go. There and share it at one place. Okay, cool. So I shared it to a couple places. What's up, man, from across a couple ponds?
Couple of big lakes.
Couple of gigantic lakes. You're reporting from the future. Everything good?
Everything so far is in Australia. Not going great on the virus front. We are starting another nasty wave here. So it's beginning in Melbourne, and then sadly they're starting to lock down the city again, which is
I mean,
man, what a planet. What a planet.
I would say that I could give you some advice from America, but I don't think that we're the people to be giving advice right now. But
how's it over there, brother? How's it
I was in Los Angeles when everything started happening, and my girlfriend and I, we really took it seriously even before it became like stay home, don't do anything. So we were quarantining about 2 weeks before everything got serious. And then we were in Los Angeles for probably a month, and then we decided to pack up and come to a property that my family has in Georgia, which is a lot more spacious and better for the mental health. And
absolutely.
But we're aching to get back to Los Angeles. When stuff starts happening again. And And until then, it's just
it's going to be interesting. I've been very fortunate. It was fortuitous maybe, but because of my patience, I met the head of the group of people working on the vaccine here in Australia.
oh my gosh.
So Australia at this stage, according to them, are leading the charge in this vaccine front. And so I'm getting the geneticist version perspective on what this is. And it's so fascinating talking to them, because they're like, yeah, this is going to be the normal thing. To them, this is just going to be the normal year to year.
New.
Yeah. And I'm like, so people are comparing it to the flu, which is rightly so, because it is a coronavirus. But the interesting thing about this one is, and the reason why maybe the governments are so, wow, this is crazy, or especially in Australia, they are very frightened of this disease, is because of, virus, is because of the mortality rate within ICU. They're very specific. That you don't hear about this in the media, but it's in the ICU. As soon as you enter ICU, which is intensive care units, doesn't matter what comorbidity you have, doesn't matter your age. So far in the 4 months of data they've gotten around the world, it's 80% pass away. So that's why they're frightened. I think maybe, or there's another agenda, I'm not sure. But in the flu, the normal flu, influenza, is around the 20%. So when people are comparing numbers with the flu, I think firstly, it's like, this is worldwide anyway, killed more people than the flu already anyway, but it's done it faster. But they counted in the number of people in ICU, which is interesting. That's I think the main driver for all the hospitals everywhere. In the US as well, there's stories now coming out that all the US hospitals are full.
Yeah,
which is unbelievable. Yeah. So, but they said this is a yearly thing. The COVID will mutate every year, will be the new thing. So it's like the flu. Humans will learn to live with it, adapt. But here's the interesting kicker. He said, it's your genetics. It's all about your genetics. Whether you have comorbidities, immune dysfunctions or not, if your genetics says you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay. If your genetics says you're not going to be okay, you're not going to be okay. Isn't that
I got to imagine that it makes it way more difficult for a vaccine.
Exactly. So I said, so reality, this vaccine is like, yeah. There's a flu vaccine, but the flu is still here. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
That's a very good point.
I'm not the expert. I'm just listening to the what the people actually observing the virus and trying to create a vaccine from it are saying, which is just fascinating compared to what the media is saying.
Yeah, those are the people that you definitely want to listen to. But
yeah.
Thanks for doing this, man. So for everybody watching, I'm calling this SDSidekick. This is a new venture I created a couple months ago. Basically, I kept having a lot of people, once I went public kind of a year ago about having this vocal condition, and which was a huge step for me. And I for so many years, even back when I met you in beginning of 2018, I had never gone public about it. To be honest, as an actor in the entertainment industry, I was very nervous at, how it would affect anything, as far as, well, we don't want somebody on our set that can't say things the way that I want you to, whatever, we spiral in that sense. But I made this SDSidekick thing as a way of, when I got SD at the very young age of 5, and
incredible.
Yeah, I met one other person that got it that young recently.
Really?
But not many.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never met anybody else. It's usually older, as you know. But when I got it, I didn't know obviously what to do then, and then it turned into, well, maybe my voice is just changing, and that kind of it got to the point where my parents were like, it doesn't take this long for your voice to change. So when I got diagnosed many years later, the thing my doctors were telling me was Botox, and there was nothing else I had nowhere else to go for anything. And now what's great is when people get it, I met somebody that I had on for an interview a couple weeks ago, and she got it recently, very young. And she, even now, there's just so much information out there of so many, like, you know, obviously the first thing you're going to search is spasmodic dysphonia cure or spasmodic dysphonia treatment. And you're going to get sent in 1,000 different directions. And so what I want SDSidekick to be eventually is kind of like a one-stop place for everything that people are trying, you know, as far as vitamins and books and programs and everything personally that I think is worth a try. You know, I've kind of tried everything. I would think that, you know, crazy things and crazy things like flying to Australia to work with a guy named Jim. No, but I've tried everything. And so I wanted to make this site and then these interviews as like a resource, you know, for people that are new to SD or you know, like also a little community for people too, because back then I had nothing. And even now I think that the internet is a blessing and a curse because there's just so much information out there.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I'm kind of hoping
that actually is a detriment.
I kind of am hoping this will eventually be like a one-stop source, but it's still in the beginning processes and I don't know what it will become, but for now that's what it is. And I like having people on that either have SD or are working with SD and you're absolutely, you know, that person. Like how did, you know, okay, I know a lot about you. Obviously I got the opportunity to work with you, which was so cool. And first of all, I was terrified to fly over to Australia by myself. Like, definitely never done a trip that far by myself, but yeah. So first of all, before I jump to my first question for you, anybody that is watching, you know, I shared this on like my personal page and stuff like that. And
yes, thank you.
Yeah, spasmodic dysphonia. If you don't know, you know, I've been kind of being vocal about it for the past year for the first time, but it is a neurological condition that people are just stricken with, and there's no rhyme or reason why they get it. They just get it, and then it affects their voice. And some, like me, it's gotten very mild. You know, I think thanks to many reasons, but you know, some people suffer. I mean, it is heartbreaking. You know, but the reason I found you is, you know, you helped somebody, and I saw that video on YouTube, and it really moved me. And I'm like, I gotta connect with this guy.
Yeah.
So like, first of all, for people that don't know you, like, I would love for you to like tell a little bit about yourself and then how you found out about spasmodic.
Sure. Well, you are a very intricate part of my journey as well, Shane. So in creating the Vocal Freedom Program, you know, you are a big component of that. So thank you.
Oh man.
I like to keep it quite simple. I started my journey. Well, I'm in the medical world anyway. I started as a physiotherapist in the very early 2000s, and then I became a specialist in pain because I had to. I was very fortunate to work with some elite teams in Australia and Olympic teams for swimming and so on, and you're required to do more study and become a specialist. So I became a specialist, but I was the one that was very frustrated as a practitioner trying to help people in pain. I started in pain and dysfunctions. They weren't getting better. And the system was, oh, well, we'll just have to keep telling them they'll get better and keep treating and hope to God they'll get better. But I was attracted to the people who just didn't fit the medical model. It's like, and SD sufferers are in the same basket. Why doesn't your body get rid of this? Naturally, we heal. As humans, you cut yourself, you heal. You get sick, you heal. Why isn't my pain, my dysfunction, my dystonia, my voice dystonia, why isn't it not, my muscle tension dysphonia, why isn't it getting better? So I was just losing my mind. I was always on the phones with people after work hours. My bosses at the time as a junior, you know, physio, I thought that was crazy. I was just sitting there talking to people after I treated them, asking all the raw questions that I shouldn't be asking, but I did. And then I just lost my plot. I couldn't understand why humans were not getting better with the best knowledge and practice and medical knowledge we have here in Australia. It just weren't fitting the picture. So I went searching. I was very lucky. I met some cool people who got me to some cool healers around the world. I connected with them. I flew to them. I learned from them. I paid lots of money for them to come here and train me. So I found a different way of treating the human body and the nervous system. I felt the nervous system was the key, because the nerves are the reason why we feel pain, have problems like SD. And then I went to the anatomy books again all by myself, and I just kept studying on top of what I was doing in my practice, in private practice. Just kept going. And I started treating people, friends, families, just patients who said, look, I'm not going to charge you. My bosses don't care. I want to do my weekends. I want to treat you. So I just played with it, experimenting my new ideas. And then I created a concept called nerve locks, which came out of all of this. Nerve locks, so nerves that lock up. The body says, stop, you're not going to heal. It's fascinating, but you're not going to die. You don't have cancer. You just have this problem that you've stressed me so much, physically, emotionally. I'm going to lock you down. So that's what nerve locks came from. And I started my own practice in 2009 with nerve locks. And holy moly, what do you know? People are getting better. And then because of that, oh, wow, I'm starting to see some very crazy people, like big names, influencers, everyone. Everyone started hearing that this guy's doing this thing because word of mouth travels, of course. So the Bostock Institute was born and just went ballistic, traveling everywhere, seeing incredible people all over the place, people flying here and for nerve blocks, for pain and dysfunctions. And then I started meeting singers. I realized there were vocal issues with singers who, like Ed Sheeran or John Mayer, whose voices were not getting better. No matter all the best exercises they were doing, they kept repeated bleeds, muscle tension dysphonia. I keep losing my voice. I'm on a big tour. What's going on? I'm taking the prednisone. It helps a little bit, but I've lost my range. What's happening? Not even the top level, even the normal, regular, pub singers, all the same. Nerve blocks sitting in here. So I thought, all right, I'm going to design a treatment for singers and speakers. So I met Tony Robbins because of this. The great, had a pleasure of working with him for many years, all for the body and the voice because of nerve blocks. So I met you when you came, and Karen, the lady you saw in the YouTube video, she had significant nerve blocks as well as a mild form of SD. So unlocking her nerve blocks was a significant component. And what you taught me about SD, which I started meeting people with SD after Karen, of course, and I realized SD was different. SD was something whole different category to the normal muscle tension dysphonia. And what I realized with time and practice and just seeing multiple of people is that muscle tension dysphonia leads to SD quite commonly if the is not. It's interesting. So when I treated you and I really reset your nerve blocks, the result was not what we want, because for some reason your body was still holding on to this neural dysfunction. And I discovered over time and practice that it was the emotional limbic brain that was a big play here, more for SD than purely muscle tension dysphonia. The vagus nerve, which is everything to do with the voice, is highly emotional, highly connected to the emotional brain. So I designed a concept around the emotional brain working with the physical body, working together to try and help people improve their voice living with SD. Because SD simply at the end of the day is your voice. Your voice at the end of the day is your own personal fingerprint. It's you as a person. It's not a neurological dysfunction. It's you as a person. So I wasn't happy with this neurological dysfunction umbrella that everyone gets told. It's the same with nerve blocks. All my patients told, oh, you just have a nerve problem. See you later. You're crazy. Bye-bye. We can give you all the drugs. Good luck. We can try these surgeries. Didn't work. Oh, well, too bad. So sad. It's the same for SD sufferers. I felt. It's like they just putting into they're shoved into this category of it's too hard and it's a neurological condition. You need Botox, or you have the surgery option to try and cut the nerves, reshape the larynx, put things together in the hope that you'll get yours back. But when you really look at it, and the singers taught me this without question, they said your voice is you. It's the doorway to your soul. It's your character. It's your true inner self. The voice is so complicated in that way. And to say you're a neurological dysfunction, what does that do to a person? It immediately puts them into a place of negative stress, energy, doubt, self-consciousness, insecurity, and then they believe it. Because as you said earlier, there's so much information now out there. People are becoming overly on making themselves feel worse. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Reading all the stories of people. Oh, I've lost you for a moment. Reading all the stories, all the media, all the science saying incurable, you're a disease, you're a neurological problem, yada, yada, yada. And when I found way at the beginning that the emotional brain is the key, and to keep giving that emotional brain the reinforcement that it sucks only perpetuates the problem.
Absolutely.
So there, I learned a lot from you with what we talked about.
We're having technical issues. I mean, it's like you're in Australia or something.
Oh, bloody wombats. They're climbing all over the internet lines.
I think we're good.
Yeah, you taught me a lot, Shane. Yeah, you taught me a lot, and I really, really appreciated that, because your nervous system, I felt, was absolutely beautiful in there. It left you, but the other part of your brain, the limbic brain, the emotional brain centers, were as important, or in my opinion, more important, in healing this problem. It's for many people to grasp initially, but I say, you've had moments in your life when your voice was beautiful, right? You can do it. You can create sound, you can talk to animals, you can talk to children, you can be an actor with different characteristic tones, and your voice works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what I've found the best advice I've ever been able to give people with SD is, yeah, of course, there's, I've found vitamins that occasionally will take a little bit of the edge off. I've done acupuncture. I've done other things that take a little bit of the edge off. But the thing that I've found that really connects the most with what you're doing with your program is it feels like the more I'm trying to illustrate this in the best way possible. The more I have put myself in situations that, I don't know, make me nervous, or, using my voice in the situations that, would kind of trigger somebody with ST, the more, like, I'm an actor. So it's like going to acting classes or first kind of scary, or doing shows or doing auditions. But the more I've done, I've noticed that it becomes easier and it becomes easier. So I've had to use my voice in these situations. And I listen to video of myself because I have myself on video since all the way back since I was a child. And every year it's like my voice has gotten better. And I think it's literally because it's almost like peeling layers off, every year. And every year that I, am avid at the exercises, or I'm, working on, just getting comfortable in my own skin and releasing some of the trauma that is still attached to me in my life. I feel like I feel like I'm peeling layers back, and I get more comfortable with my acting. I'm more sunk into my actual voice. And I think that it's like right side by side with what the work you're doing with your program. My logic, or at least how I view, I've gotten to the point of such a mild case, because I've had a lot of people with severe cases that have asked me, like, what have you done? And I'm like, I wish I could tell you exactly what it's been, but I don't know, because I've spent a lifetime kind of like in the SD gym, so to say, of like, oh, over here, I'm gonna work on this, and oh, these vitamins aren't working, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to try Jim's program. So it's a lot, but I think that, and what's sad about SD is, like, every case is different, but
you know why?
Why? I was going to ask you that.
Because everyone's emotional brain is different. SD is your own fingerprint. This is where voice technology is going. all the amazing entrepreneurs are getting into voice technology for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's your own fingerprint. So the voice is you, and that is why it's so difficult to put everyone's SD voice under one banner, in my opinion. And that's what I've been finding now, all these people going through the program, they're having realizations about themselves. It's not their voice. The voice is just the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
When it's themselves they're realizing. And I mentioned earlier, when your voice, you have moments of beautiful clarity, projected strength, confidence that come out. So to say your vocal nerves are broken or damaged is a dysfunctional comment, because you can create good voice. When
100%.
someone said, I had vodka the other night, I took those vitamins, I had sex, I had exercise, I went swimming, I went to a party, and I just let myself free and had a great time, man, my voice was good.
100%.
So why is your voice broken then? It's only because it's resorting back to the old programming reflex. So it's like this. Reflex. Reflex. Think of it like that. It's the same with nerve locks, you see. Nerve locks are exactly the same for pains and other dysfunctions. It's your brain setting in a nasty reflex to say, hey, Shane, you pissed me off somehow when you were 5 years old or earlier. Genetics, perhaps, right? There are always genetic components of your mother and father's characteristics, their negative energy, their stressed energies, their egos, right? So it's all that as well. But that reflex was created at that point in your life when your brain said, right, vagus nerve, please lock down Shane's voice. Please lock down Janet's voice. But it's a difficult concept for us to understand. It's the same with people when I say, hey, look, your back pain that's been with you for 35 years is just a nerve lock sitting in your butt. What? What? It's like, I've been scanned, I've had surgeries, and I'm still in pain. I've had blood tests, I'm not sick, I don't have cancer. What do you mean? Well, let's see. Go and reset the nerve lock. Gets the new reflexive patterns created after that. Boom, train that, your pain's gone. It's the same for the voice. However, for the voice, it's slightly a longer journey because the emotional brain is so powerful. It's so powerful. Okay, the only way to explain it, if I insulted you right now, if I criticized you, if I told you how bad your voice is, for someone with SD, what does that do to your emotions?
That I had it happen to me 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah,
and I can lie to myself and I can tell myself that I don't care at all, but I regret back into a child. I was like, oh God dang it. I couldn't even explain myself because my voice just went to its worst place.
Yep. So that is your emotional brain locking down your physical body as a reflex. So when people say this is not an emotional problem, I'm very puzzled by that, because it's like, let's say you had a perfect voice. In myself, let's say I'm very, I don't have SD. So, but if I lost some loved ones in the last few weeks, trying to sing when you're in the depth of grief, trying to speak or shout when you're scared, when you're in shock, your voice, I feel the muscle tension just cramping in. So how can you say that your emotions have no play because it's just purely a nerve problem? I don't agree with that. Your vagus nerve, your anatomy, unless you're an alien, says otherwise. Everybody knows this, but you see, it's our intellectual ego brain that says, don't tell me that. I'm protecting myself from all that rubbish. So that's why, Shane, yourself, you're intellectual, you're a very smart person, goes searching for quick fix, Band-Aid solutions, anything. So I never, ever feel inadequate. It's our emotions being guarded by our intellectual ego brain. And in my experience now, seeing this for many years, it's that's locking down people's voices and keeping it locked. I've tried everything. I'm just going to live with this. This is just me. Whatever. I'll just do Botox for the next 50 years. But what if? What if there is a way that you can move that ego, that defense aside, see the true person underneath, and that true person tells you what to do? What if?
Mm-hmm.
And your voice will follow. I guarantee it. If you're not dying and you don't have cancer, your voice will follow, because that's how the brain works. And this is what people in the program halfway through towards the end are starting to realize. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've got people in the program who are have 6 degrees, PhDs, highly intellectual. Julie Melody, I think you had a chat to.
Yeah.
Highly intellectual, beautiful, strong ego brain from the past that she's had, where she was traumatized as a child. Defense. Never feel that ever again. But I'll definitely go to that because that gave me pleasure. So that's how our egos are designed. It protects and preserves us. And I believe with 500% certainty now that is protecting people's voices right now. I say it's protecting your voice. Your voice isn't broken.
Yeah.
Just protecting it.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned Botox. I was going to ask, you kind of explained it, your opinions on Botox with SD.
I'm in the medical field, so I understand, right? Some people definitely need, because their life situations require it. If you're the lucky one that it works for, then fantastic. It's a great Band-Aid. But my thinking is, but what about the future? Who are you as a person? Who's your real identity for the next 50 years of your life? Are you that person that wants to just keep being governed by Botox, under its thumb? That's your choice. If you choose to do that, then amazing. That's your journey. But for the Vocal Freedom Program, let's say, the people who come to us, people said, no, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live in fear of my voice, which essentially is saying I don't want to fear myself anymore and my past.
My experience, I've been kind of open. I've been very open about it on these, about my experience with Botox. It was terrifying. It was the most top 5 most painful experiences I've ever been through. And I tried it for 3 sessions, didn't work for me, and I'm like, I'm done. And I've always said, whatever, I'm all about, like you said, whatever works for somebody, it's their life. But what I will say, and I'm not being paid by you, I'm not, you're not, I ain't about that. What I will say is, if you are doing something that long, like Botox, I would encourage you, try this program, because what do you have to lose? You're already pumping so much of yourself and your finances into this thing, this Botox, which is a Band-Aid. It is. And I'm saying this as somebody who tried it because I wanted relief so badly.
Understandable.
And I didn't find it from it. And some people do. And I have friends that have SD now, or I have friends that I have met with SD that are now my friends, and they do it. And I'm fully support that. But I would encourage anybody watching that is to that point of, because here's the fact of the matter. Botox isn't cheap, man. It's not. And for a lot of people, it becomes unrealistic. So for what you're spending on Botox, I would just encourage people to try the program. And there's a lot of people that are going to watch this that are probably going to be like, they've seen programs out there, and they've seen a lot of books and vocal exercises and speech therapy. But like, how is this different from? I mean, you've kind of already answered that, but how is this different from like just going to speech therapy?
My approach from the beginning, my vision from the beginning, was to say, I want to change your life, your person, not this. This will follow. I know it will. As I said, if you're not medically unwell in any way, change you will see. Your voice will just follow. And this is what people are finding. They cannot believe it. They're like, yeah, I kind of believed you at the start, Jim, but holy shit, really? Is this really happening? Yes. It's a difficult concept. It's like, Shane, you're an actor, so if you go and practice your acting, you're going to be very good at it, but you won't be good at it in a week or 2 weeks or 6 weeks. You're going to be good at it with time. And initially, the skill is hard. You'd agree. It's how your body has to get used to it. Your nervous system has to get used to it. Your emotions have to get used to it. But you believe you're going to become an actor, and you're just going to go practice, no matter what. Just, I'm having a shit day. Like, I'm really doubting myself here, but I still believe I'm going to go back and do it again. You've been knocked back by how many auditions? And yet you believe, right? All that negative energy from those auditions that you've been knocked back, let's say, but you believed and you went back, and then you got that one.
Yep.
And the hormones, the positive hormones, oh yes, this is why I do this. So it's the same theory with your voice. It's just a hard concept to gauge initially. Can you strengthen your muscles enough? It's not going to grow in 6 weeks. It's going to grow with time. You're not going to become a marathon runner in 6 weeks. You're going to become a marathon runner in 6 months. Your body needs the time to develop and grow stronger. So what I'm encouraging people in the Vocal Freedom Program is we use the power of your emotional self, your emotional brain, to drive the positive hormones that motivates you to practice. Little habits. We have 6 habits that I finally put all together after everything that I've been through in my head with the last 70,000 people that I've treated. And very fortunate meeting some cool people like Tony Robbins and Joe Dispenzas and Jordan Harbingers and all these amazing people, and talking to them and asking raw questions, because I'm the guy who asks people about their marriages and stuff. That's me. And then putting it together and trying to find a way that everyone with their own individual emotional brain and past can come and go, right, okay, that habit, I think I can implement that in this way in my life. And I think if my ego will just move aside for a little bit, I think I'm not scared anymore to say, yes, I can believe that. And then you practice. So Shane, you had that one, so you wakes you up the next day, you're back on the train again. It's the same for your voice. It's the same for your muscles. Apply the same theory, but the voice is just trickier initially because it's so it's your insecurity. It's your.
And what I will say is
sensitive.
The hardest part of something like this, this program or something similar is, you don't see immediate results. You go to the gym and you kind of, it's not that you see muscles immediately, but you feel it and you kind of see a little something. You see a little sweat happening. Work is happening. That's the only hard part. And for me personally, I've made it very clear before that it's hard for me to stick with something when I'm not seeing quick results, and that's a part of personality I'm working on. But that's something with this, that I'm working on, is like I gotta stay on it. It's like going to the gym. It's like I work so much every day on so many creative things. I work out every day. This has to be a part of it.
It does. That's why it's such a hard concept initially to grasp, because it's not like I'm a guitar player and I can see myself getting better. But then we've had people commenting already, oh my gosh, I've had my first phone conversation without my voice. Tracy, treasure it, believe it, feel it, bank it, and then do it again tomorrow. Because that was we call dopamine moment. We call it dopamine wins. And then when you feel that, you love it. Oh, there it is. And then your voice can be shit for the rest of the day. It doesn't matter, because your brain remembered that. And then it grows. Little by little, it just grows and fuels a new program in there. And that new program will start to seep and become more concreted in your limbic brain. And then that has a major influence on your vagus nerve. So it changes your whole person. And that's my vision. And it's happening. It's so cool to watch people change. I have no words to describe it anyway, but that's simply it. And it's a 16-week program, but then we give you extra few months to just keep practicing. And you have access to me as well, of course. And I'm just sitting there on the sidelines giving you the, come on, Shane, believe. So but you're right. It is very difficult to believe that such things can happen. But hey, I can tell you now, being an actor, going to auditions, that belief and that constant drive, in my opinion, that's harder. And you did it. So what's the difference? It's like saying Tom and Dick. Tom and Dick are both smokers, chronic smokers, but they want to give up smoking. Tom says, I want to give up smoking. I'm going to go try everything on this planet, the best books, the best strategies to give up smoking. Dick says, I'm not a smoker. Who do you think will win in a year?
The guy says, I'm not a smoker.
Because he believed. We did all this. I believe I could become a nerve block specialist. What kind of bullshit is that? Was the comment that I always got from my, very high-powered colleagues. You can't do that. That's rubbish. But I believed. So again, that's fueled by emotions. So that's my thing.
Yeah, and I think that what's crazy is SD is still such a new thing, so you are kind of pioneering a new approach. I mean, this is an entirely new approach to treat it. So
Dr. Farias is another common name being popped out, neuroplasticity. Yeah. Joe Dispenza, neuroplasticity. Tony Robbins, neuroplasticity. Everyone's doing neuroplasticity. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just for SD specific. But all I've done is I said, guys, we're thinking about this too hard. We're making this too intelligent. There's too many options, as you said. Botox is scary. Surgery is even, oh my gosh, that's even scarier. So that, in essence, simply, I said, like everyone, this is how I design the nerve blocks. Keep it very simple. Anatomy is anatomy. You're a human being? Cool. You're not dying? You haven't got cancer? Cool. This is how the anatomy works. Your brain loves this. Limbic brain loves simplicity. So 6 simple habits. Don't complicate the picture. Oh, but what about this? What about this? Oh, but I love it. No. Just don't think any more than you have to. That's your neocortex. That's your ego brain saying, hey, no, this is what I used to believe. This is what I learned. This is what, I was trained to do this. Your comment is wrong. That's not right. You must do it this way. Just don't worry about any of that. Believe yourself. So that's why I tell everyone in the program, trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Trust your belief that now says you're a person without SD. Trust it. Keep it that simple. The more you put in,
that's the hardest hill to get over, is changing.
Oh God, yes.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Because we've got egos. We are super intelligent because of these things. So I said, keep it simple, everyone. It's hormones. We are human beings. It's hormones. Hormones. You live with stress today. Are your stress hormones? That's fueling your SD. Let's keep it simple. Let's create 6 new habits in your life today that produces the parasympathetic hormones that allows your vagus nerve to feel free, which it does every time you do it. But you just don't practice enough. Don't overthink it. Just practice. Oh my gosh, what happens when you do one simple habit every day? It's like, oh wow. So yeah, that's the vision anyway. And it's working. We're like jumping for joy at the moment. We have some people call last night going, oh my God, Jim, oh my gosh.
That was going to be one of my final questions, was talking about the people that you've seen that have had positive results from it. But before I do that, I want to again, put the website link up here, because if people are interested,
thank you.
Is there a way on the website they can contact you with questions, or anything? Awesome.
On Facebook message me. I'm answering everyone's, and so is Perry, my partner in crime, answering everyone's questions.
Right now, leave some questions in the comments while Jim's here.
Yes, please.
We can answer them while he is here. But website is down here, and definitely.
And I'll do this on my side too. I love the Sidekick concept. It's so cool.
Oh, thanks,
man.
Such
a great idea.
It's a work in progress. I don't know what it'll become, but
your intentions are amazing, which is great.
Thanks, man. I said for years, it's funny. I always said, like, when I get to some level of fame, I want to be an advocate for SD. But to be completely honest, I got sick of waiting for this fame thing. I think I think I'm happy with where I'm at in my career. So like that's a whole nother topic of conversation of people, the whole fame thing. It just cracks me up. But like,
But that's what you'll be searching in the program, Shane. You'll figure out why. Why do you want the fame thing? Why do you want more money? Why are you like that in your relationship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I got sick of like waiting for this imaginary finish line, and I was just like, I got to start doing something about this. And then the first step was my short film Cookie, which you contributed, and thank you again. And people will hopefully be able to see that before the end of the year, but it's off.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah,
and
can't wait.
yeah, it's been really cool to see the response from that. But before I get to my last question, again, if you are watching, leave some questions in the comments while Jim's here. Anything that you guys have questions about as far as SD or the Vocal Freedom Program or anything like that. But I think like we've talked a lot about the program, but I think people, they want to know results. They want to know, is it working for people? Like, what have you seen?
My biggest is seeing people just change their way of living, and everyone's starting to. The initial process is like, oh, okay, come on, I can do this. It's difficult. I have so many doubts, but then they're doing it, and then what we're noticing is the voice, because it's all ultimately at the end of the day about the voice. They're going into situations in their life, phone conversations, what have you, that suddenly it's doing better without them realizing. And then it goes, and then it comes back again, and then it goes. But then as the time goes, the endurance builds. So one, Angela, she's a prolific speaker. She said, I did a whole speech and I felt great. At the start of the program, it was perhaps maybe a few minutes, if that makes sense, as the time grows. So what people are noticing is in areas of their life that their voice would normally feel very insecure, they're now feeling confident. And then then they just keep practicing. And I said, beyond the program, keep going. Why stop? If you're getting really good at something, keep going. So it's like they have a set of tools they can use when so life can be stressful. You look at the world we live in now, things can come from left field and punch you in the face. It's completely normal to feel pain again, to feel strangled again, but you have tools. And when you practice, once your brain has practiced enough, as you know, you can bring out a skill just like that. Get up on your bike and ride again when you haven't ridden in 3 years, because your brain has the program in there. So for myself personally, sorry, I'll go to like Angela. She's, when I get nervous, I just do my thing and it's good. So they have that reliance and confidence. And the most important thing, control. The biggest, in my opinion, the strongest emotion that we all have as human beings, for under the banner of fear, is the loss of control. We don't want to lose control. We fear it. And for everyone, they're saying, I'm not scared anymore. That was the biggest response we're getting it from everyone. I'm not scared anymore. And it feels so good. And I feel I have more control over my scared emotions. The voice is winning. Because I'm not even thinking about this. I'm thinking about me. And my voice is just winning. It's insane.
That's amazing.
Because that's what it is. I had a terrible last 3 weeks because I've had a lot of patients die. It's been the weirdest 3 weeks. And I've lost my grandfather, and this week I lost my uncle to COVID-19 in Brazil. So you can imagine and I felt even my throat and muscle tension grow, because I speak all day with patients. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So every morning I'm doing my habits. Boom, boom, reset, go again, reset, go again. And even today, even though I'm going to go through some grieving processes with my family, energetically, we call it the homeostasis point in the program. You'll see. Oh, you know, I can reset. I have the tools because I've been practicing myself for so long. So there it is, one breath, because the breath work is what we call the remote control. All right. Stress my life, family, kids, relationships. You have the tools. Reset. Homeostasis, voice is good, let's go. So that's what people at the end of the program, what I'm encouraging, because they're doing so well. They have the control.
That's amazing. Dude, thank you so much, for coming on here.
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah, man, you're doing such amazing things for SD and the people with it, and that's why I wanted to have you on here again. I'm not being paid. This is me. I wanted to bring on people that have SD, that are working with people with SD, regardless of what their views are or anything. But I truly believe in what you're doing, and I encourage people. If you've tried what you think is everything, I can absolutely say I am one of those people. Like, I tried everything from, and I'll be very transparent here: Botox, acupuncture, speech therapy, regression therapy, hypnotherapy, traveling to Australia. I even tried there's this, she doesn't call it exorcism, but it's kind of called exorcism.
Wow, cool.
I've tried crazy cool, like I'm very much a hippie when it comes to, like, not as far as drugs, but like I will try things, and if it comes to like something that might make me feel better or help with my voice, I'm open, man. And so I think what you're doing is something that, is already helping people, but will help a lot more people. So I encourage people to try it out, and put the time into it, the same time and effort that, you've put into those late nights when you're sitting and you're frustrated and you're searching for some magic pill, because I know I've been there so many nights where I'm just in tears and in frustration with my mild case. So I can't even imagine those that are suffering, what those nights are like. So I just try it, man. Just try it.
Yeah. I don't have SD, so but I have the hugest admiration for people living with it. It is, it's your voice, which is you. So that's why I'm here. I opened this can many years ago. We're like, whoops, it's open now. I'm emotionally involved now. That's it. Game over.
You're doing awesome things, man. And again, I just wanted to thank you for being on here and
Thanks,
doing
mate.
what you do, man.
Thanks, mate. No, I look forward to sharing your journey with you now through the program. It's gonna be fun. But I can't emphasize enough. The reason why you are the way you are today is because of your training, your intelligence, why you want to be that person who is open to trying everything possible, to the way your idiosyncratic choices, behavior, reactions happen, the whys to you crying at night, to suffering and feeling depressed. Everything comes down to your genetics from your parents and how you were trained. As long as you just accept and understand that and go, right, thank you very much. Here is me. I'm now going to become a Cirque du Soleil artist at the age of 40. I'm going to go train to become a Cirque du Soleil artist. Good luck to me. But if I can see that picture on the wall of me doing backflips at 40, amazing things can happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, thanks again, man. And if anybody watching has any questions, I definitely encourage you to visit the website. Jim is very open to answer questions. You were so awesome to me when I first started emailing you before I came to visit. But yeah, thanks again, man.
Thank you, buddy. And stay safe. Take care over there.
Let's do this again soon after I've done the program for a bit, and we can.
Yeah, let's aim to do it at lesson 8. Lesson 8.
All right.
So it's a weekly thing, as you know. You get weekly lessons. Let's go after lesson 8, 9. Let's see how you're feeling and what you've realized.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
All
that'd
right,
be
man.
fun.
Talk to you then.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, see you
Thank
soon.
you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Jim Bostock, everybody, vocalfreedomprogram.com. I highly, like I said, I've tried absolutely everything. And when I say exorcism, it's not like a movie. All right, so don't go crazy places. But there's a lady, like a spiritual healer, I should say. So I've tried absolutely everything, and I have gotten into a mild place, but I think that what Jim is doing is I hate to sound corny, but really revolutionary. And so I highly encourage people that are suffering, because people do suffer with this. And, to try the program. Contact Jim. I guarantee I know you have questions, because I had so many. Contact Jim. He will answer your questions. And yeah, man, it's exciting, because I think that this is going to be the first step in the right direction of healing people and fixing this thing, and really turning the corner in the right way for spasmodic dystonia. If you are watching right now, some of you might not have ST. Some of you might not even know what spasmodic dystonia is, but thank you for watching. My name is Shane Hartline. I'm an actor that has been living with spasmodic dystonia since I was like 5. I got it very young. Most people get it when they're in their 50s, or later in life, and I'm one of the very few that have gotten it. They got it so young, and so I've lived my whole life hating this thing about myself until lately. I've changed that hate into a different energy, a different approach, and it's because of things like what Jim's doing, and just realizing that it is not a disorder. It is not a dysfunction. It's something that is me, and that with practice, it has gotten a lot better. And so, yeah, I encourage everybody watching that feels like there's nothing left. Try try the vocal freedom program. Try other things too. This is your journey. That is why I made this website, this project, SDSidekick, as one-stop resource, that you can constantly check in with, for all kinds of things like the Vocal Freedom Program, with books and vitamins, and there's a private page on Facebook that you can come to and talk to people. I just wanted to be kind of like a resource and a community and a one-stop shop, because I have been there when I'm like Google searching. Oh, people suggest this, people suggest that, but it gets messy. The internet has been the best thing, obviously, because it, for people with SD, but it also has been something that there's just so much information out there that you get lost in it. And yeah, so SDSidekick.com is the website. You can rewatch past interviews that I'm doing one in 2 weeks. Let me double check the date and the name of the awesome woman that I will be interviewing. But yeah, we'll be doing another one of these chats in about 2 weeks. That date is July 22nd, 9 p.m. Eastern, with Beth Sweeney. And Beth is, I believe, she worked at a news channel, or she's a new TV news anchor in Indiana, which is really great. And she just recently got SE, so we're going to talk to her about getting it, and her experiences with it, and the struggles, and but she's going to get to share her story, and we're going to have a conversation with her on July 22nd, 9 p.m. Eastern. But until then, do what you have to do to make yourself comfortable. Living with something like SD, can just, it's like, life is already so stressful and hectic right now. SD is just something that's on top of it that can definitely be increased by the stresses of life. So take every day, and especially right now in a quarantine, make them as best as they can be for you. But Yeah, love you guys. Thank you again for watching. You can rewatch these anytime on our Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel. You can search SDSidekick, and appreciate you watching.